we're the owners of Kagura. It's a Demon Slayer game, and we're looking for investments. Our game is a hardcore Demon Slayer game, and that's one of the main things that sets us apart from other Demon Slayer games. Um, we have multiple different ways of progressing. We don't follow a spin to win format, meaning clan spins are not a thing, and they don't dictate and like anything in the game really. And we we're looking for investments because we don't have the fund to do this all on our own. So our motivation for making the game is we notice that there aren't a lot of good Demon Slayer games on the platform, and it's mostly a passion project. And we kind of just want to be the first to make like a good Demon Slayer game that lots of people would want to play. We don't really have any competitors except for Yaiba, and we don't even know that that game's coming out anytime soon because they paused production because Snail Ale, their main VFX artist, and some of the scripters are working on other projects as well. We have some sneak peeks that we could show you, and we have not started testing, mainly because we haven't found any testers yet, but we are probably going to start testing soon. And when we do start testing, we're going to be testing the breathings, the obtainment methods, and a little bit of progression.
Can you go more in depth about the hardcore aspect you mentioned? Because I'm interested in that.
Yeah, so we noticed that hardcore games like are set apart themselves apart from other games, and we thought that we could do like a hardcore aspect where there's not only just lives, but there's like events that you can go to where you risk your entire character. Kind of like if you're familiar with Shinden, there's like PD events. We were thinking we could do something like that, where like big parts of your progression revolve around these permadeath events, which encourages you to, fight against other players in a character wiping event. But it's also not required. It's just recommended, so that the people who don't want to do these events don't have to. They're not forced to.
Yeah, that sounds good. What's the current status of the game? Like, how's progress and all that?
Oh, it's steady because we have a team of like 6 developers, I think now. We have 2 animators, 3 scripters, VFX artists, and then the only thing we need to commission from other people are models and buildings, like builds. And we work on the game pretty much every day, right? We have an animator from Rogue Demon. His name is Guy Nas. I'm the VFX artist. We have 3 scripters. It's me, the other guy here, Briss, and our animator. He's also a scripter, and he animates as well. So yeah, we're set other than builds and models.
Mix, what do you have to say?
I think I heard all I need to actually hear because, they said that they work on a project every day. Work ethic is extremely important when making a game. And yeah, like they said, there's barely any other competitors. Demonfall has already fell. And I don't really play Demon Slayer games because of the aspect that they kind of, have of just grind instead of hardcore aspects and permadeath. But they promise that they will deliver hardcore aspects into the game, almost like permadeath aspects, and that does sound interesting, just like Desired said. So yeah.
What do you guys see the long-term specs of the game being?
We hope to. So, are you guys familiar with like games like Type Soul? And it's a very popular game. It's really sought after. We hope our game to be we hope our game to be at that quality. That game was worked on for God knows how long, and then they released it, and it was just really hyped up. And it's not one of those games that's overhyped. Like people actually played it and they enjoyed it. So we want our game to be like that. We want our game to be a game that lives on for years with 1K concurrent players, kind of like Demonfall. It still does for some reason. And we just hope people play it. We want our game to be a staple on the platform.
I have another question. In the future, do you want the game to be like open to the public completely, or do you want it to be like a closed community type game? And explain why.
So, okay, let me explain. I think we should do closed community for testing only, and then after that, we open the game up to the public. Because obviously, we want it to become a staple. We can't really do that if it's just a CC game, right? But yeah. I think the main goal of CC is to find people that will actually play the game and enjoy it, but they also find bugs, right? Because it's not all about fun and games. We also have to test the games to make sure it's, working, right?
Do you plan to put a price tag on the game? Have you thought that out yet?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that we have to think about, because if you put a price tag on the game, that will greatly reduce the amount of exploiters that play, because they know if they get banned, they'll have to pay more money. But it also makes it harder for everybody to have access to the game. So we haven't really come to a decision with that, but we probably will
Yeah.
soon nearing the completion of the game.
Yeah, that's good though.
Is there anything different about your game than other Demon Slayer games?
Well, yeah, for sure. First of all, I don't think there's a popular hardcore Demon Slayer game. Second of all, we aren't one of those games where you have to have, for example, Sugakuni or Kamado to get sun breathing or moon breathing, right? I think that's one of the main things that's gonna set our game apart from others, is because people won't have to spend money in order to get the good things in the game, right? Another thing is we really value exploration, so we hope to make our map very immersive. We're gonna have lots of like different secrets, different dungeons, and a whole bunch of things you can just do, so the game doesn't really get stale, right?
You talked about dungeons. Does that mean your game is gonna have like a pretty big map?
Yeah, it has to have a big map in order to have multiple ways to progress, but it's not gonna be excessive, right? It's not gonna be the size of Shinden, which is, yeah.
Pretty big. Yeah.
So
Like,
I have
that
to
would
ask
be
a
like
big
big
question.
compromise.
Like, what's the revenue donate share? Like, you know, how much we donate, how much revenue do we get?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna use 20K as a basis. For every 20K you guys donate like in Robux, then I'm gonna say like good 4-5%. And we have 100% of the game right now, so I mean,
You can
that's
still donate lower though, right?
yes, you still can. That's just a base. Well, if you try and calculate how much we're valuing our game at, is 400,000. I don't know if that's what you were trying to do, but
Yeah.
we plan to have at least 5 moves for breathing, and we're almost done with water. We're pretty much done with wind. We need to finish sound, and then we're probably gonna move on to flame. But we have three different scripters working on all the breathing, so it's gonna get done fast with high quality. Because I was working on flame moves earlier today. I could show you like kind of. But we have wind. We have the wind cutter. We have the one where you spin around in I don't really know. Like one where you spin around in a circle going forward. Water, we have waterfall basin. The basic moves we have. So we're moving at a good pace, because we haven't really been working on this project that long compared to other people like that you might have had on the show. We probably started like 2 months ago.
Yeah. At the moment, you think your game is worth an evaluation of 400,000?
Yes, I do.
With an evaluation of that much, I don't think. At this moment, you've only been working on your game for 2 months now, as you said. So I don't really think your game is worth this much at the moment.
Well, I do, because I'll just explain it. If you break down how much everything's worth, like the systems and scripting, the effects and all that, it all adds up to around that much based off of our rates. That's the only reason why I said that.
I mean, yeah, your graphics they're decent. Yes, I think they're pretty good. But then again, you haven't even started with the main map yet, and you said it's gonna be fairly big, and you're gonna have dungeons and stuff, but you still haven't.
I mean, you have to realize like all that costs money, and like we don't have builders on our team, so like I don't understand like
Yeah,
how you expect us to have.
Everybody right now has been working for free. Then we've gotten this far. So.
Yeah, I
Do you
get
think it's
that.
like worth that much right now, or like the finalized like product?
No, the
You can
finalized
just
product is going to be worth more than that. This is a valuation of right now.
I don't know. I just want to test it for myself personally. You know?
I could understand that, but the only problem is that with this new developer portal, I literally cannot restore anything from 3 days ago. That work for everybody then?
Yeah.
All right, thanks. See you guys.
See you.
So I like the overall concept of the game and really think that a Demon Slayer game with permadeath is unique, but they were making too many promises for how little information we had on the game. And I only saw a few clips on the game, and I don't think that's enough information for how much money they were asking for up front. We were actually supposed to film another recording for day 2, but they backed out last minute. I wanted to actually counter-offer the deal, but unfortunately, as I said, they backed out before we can make it to day 2. So yeah.
So what we're actually, like Desired said, you have to test out the product before even buying it, because if you, not buy it, but you guys know what I mean. If you buy a bad product and only go off of its looks, then, you know, you can't really return it for in some cases. So we couldn't just, you know, invest a bunch. That's why I invested such a low amount to see if they would, you know, accept it without, I don't know, flinching, or, you know, be grateful at least. You know, they said any Robux would help them on their project. But yeah, they should have waited for Desired, because his offer was a good offer as well. But
In the way I see it, Mix's offer was actually good, because I feel like advertisements are more important, because your game also has to get exposure. So yeah, Mix offered to like advertise the game through his YouTube channel, which his YouTube channel is decently big. So we don't know if their game was actually worth 400k, because we only saw a few clips. I understand if they think that end product is worth 400k, but as it is now, definitely not. Yeah, I'd have to say I'm backing out of it too. So what about you, Mix? What's your final thoughts?
I mean, they basically closed the deal up to us to even try to, you know, give them.
Yeah, we didn't even get to back out first, bro. They backed out first.
There are 3 people here. They only heard my offer and thought it was a bad deal. But hey.
And it is what it is.
Alright, so it looks like none of us will be investing in this game, so this concludes the meeting. If you think your game is better and needs an investment, join our Discord server in the comments below, and fill out the Google form so we can find other games to invest in.